Hello, my YouTube fans and my Facebook fans. Here I am back again. I'm so glad to be back recording videos for you all. So to begin, I found this neat little pattern. I was also told by a friend of mine that there is a girl who already has this pattern on her site, but that she doesn't explain how she does it. But I'm here to bring it to you. It is very neat. The neat part about it is this pattern right here. It's really cool. This one's funky. I didn't know how to really explain it. In terms you'd understand, it's kind of a hard pattern to get into. But once you get going, it's pretty easy. So, here we go, and let's begin. For this pattern, I use a blue yarn with size 9 rounded needles. So I am going to get my other needles and show you how I did it. Stay tuned. Okay, my friends, so for this particular pattern, we are going to cast on a total of 24 stitches. And the 24 is because you have 2 edge stitches. Okay, so you always want to cast on a total of even stitches for your pattern. Just because this is just a sample pattern, I just cast it on 24 stitches with the edge stitches just being edge stitches. So, to begin with, I went ahead and cast on what I needed. And I'm going to do a couple rows of garter stitch, but the first stitch you always want to cast, you always want to slip off. So the garter stitch, for everybody that knows, is that you knit all the stitches. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm just going to do 2 rows of this, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Okay, so I just knitted 2 rows of a garter stitch. So that's all it is. I just knitted 2 rows of the garter stitch. So now I'm going to go ahead and start the pattern. So the first stitch, you really don't knit it or anything. I'm just going to slip it off because it's just an edge stitch. And then we are going to knit 2 stitches. 1, 2. Okay, now this is where the pattern starts, and I'm going to tell you this. It's kind of funny because I've actually named this the funky stitch. So pay close attention. I am going to grab the yarn from the back in a little loop. See that? Then I'm going to bring it forward in between both of my needles. You see that? See? And then let's do it again. So I'll try to see if I can get my hand out of there. So we have the yarn in the back. Okay? You see our right needle's in the front. Okay, and I did this for a reason. I'm going to grab the working yarn and bring it in front of both of the needle, the working needle, and the back needle. See this little loop that I brought up? Okay. Now, if you can tell, you see the yarn, this one moves, okay? This one doesn't. This one moves, this one doesn't. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the one that doesn't move, okay? And you are going to purl. You're going to grab the next stitch, and you're going to purl with this part of the yarn. So we purl. Okay? And then you still have a hold of the loop, and you're going to slip off that needle, that yarn, that stitch with the needle. Then you're going to go back in Once again, you don't let go of this. This is the yarn that you're working with. This is right here. We're going to do it again. Wrap your yarn with the working needle, and you're going to purl. Bring it back like a regular purl, and then you're going to slip that stitch off. Okay? You still have this loop right here. Okay? So what you're going to do next is you're going to let it go and then pull it from behind, so that way the loop goes away. Okay? So once again, you're going to do this 3 times. So that's our first 2 stitches. Okay? So we grab our working yarn, bring it forward. This is kind of funky to do this in front of a camera. That's why I call it the funky stitch. I know I'm kind of weird. Okay? So this is the one that slides. We don't want this one. We want the one that stays still right here. Okay? So we go to the next stitch, insert our needle, and we're going to purl. Okay? And slip off the stitch. Gonna do it again. We still have our little looped yarn here. And we're going to purl again. Slipping that stitch off the needle. Okay, we still have our little loop. We let it go and we pull it from the back. Okay? Now, that's our fourth stitch that we worked this funky stitch with. So we're going to do it again. Grab this loop. Bring it forward. Remember, this is the one that moves around. This is not the one we want. We want this one. Because if you use this one, you aren't going to be able to pull the loop from the back. So, here we go. We're going to do a purl stitch with this loop. Bring it around our needle. And slip it off. Do it again. Bring it around our needle, and we purled with that stitch right there. And we pull it off, okay? And then we let our loop go and pull from the back. Henceforth, I call this, and I have dubbed it, the funky stitch. Okay? Then we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to yarn over. We're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then once again, we're going to do our little funky stitch. Okay? Grab the loop. Bring it forward. The camera focus. Okay. We want the stable yarn. Not the one that moves. This is the one that moves. We want this one. And we purl. 1, 2. Slip it off. And we pull that yarn through again from the back. Then we bring it forward again. Okay, this is the one that moves. We don't want that one. We want this one. So we purl again. 1, 2. Okay, we pull from the back. That's our fourth stitch we've done that way. So then we grab it again. We got to do 2 more. Put it in the front. Okay, This is the one that moves. We don't want that one. We want this one. Grab it. We're going to purl. Okay. 1, 2. We purled our 2. Pull it off the stitch. Pull it off the needle and pull our yarn loop. Okay. Knit 2. 1, 2. And purl your edge stitch. Okay. And that is what I've dubbed the funky stitch. Let's continue to the next row. Okay, so this is row number 2. This is the back side. I just turned my work around. I didn't record it. So once again, our first stitch, we're just going to slip it off. Okay? And then we're just going to purl every stitch. Purl all the stitches as they are. Purl. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. It's really hard to do this on a camera. By the way, I will put the link to the girl that does this on YouTube so that you can see. She kind of works it really fast and she doesn't give any instructions. So I'll put it down in the description so that you guys can see how she does it. So we're just purling all our stitches. And I'm using straight needles for this, so I'm asking for some patience here. Okay. What makes this pattern really interesting is that funky stitch that I'm talking about. Really makes it really pretty because you get that twist, kind of. This is that funky stitch. You see how it comes out? It comes out really pretty. I like the little ridges that we get there. So that's what makes it really pretty. And very hard to do. But after a while that you start doing it, you'll get it. Okay, so here's row number 3. Okay. So remember, the first one is an edge stitch, so we just slide the stitch off. We knit 2. 1, 2. Okay. And here we go again. We have to do these next 4 stitches and do the funky stitch. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what else to call it. It's just funky to do. So I grab our working yarn and put it in front. Well, make it a little loop. It's hard to do in front of a camera. There we go. Okay. Make a loop. I like to grab the back part of it with one of my fingers. Okay. Remember, this is the one that slides. We don't want this one. We want this one. So then we insert our working needle because we're going to purl. Purl 1. Okay. Purl 2. slide our work off, pull it through, pull the back yarn. Then once again, grab a loop. This is the one that slide. This is not the one we want. Okay? And we purl. That's stitch number 3 that we've purled. Stitch number 4. Okay. Oh. Gotta do 2 more. Okay. There we go. 1, 2. Slide off the needle and pull our yarn in the back. Here we go. Knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, 2, 3. And then once again, we do our funky stitch. Okay? Okay? Purling. Okay, let me pull in the back. Grab our loop again, make a loop. Okay. Purl 1. Purl 2. Okay. Pull our thread or working yarn from the back. Knit 2. 1, 2, and then our edge stitch. Oops, we purl the edge stitch. Sorry about that. Purl the edge stitch. Okay. Now we turn our work. This is row 4, if I'm not mistaken. We slip the stitch. Always slip the stitch. And then we purl all the stitches. Okay? Purl all stitches. Let my camera focus here. Okay. See you at the next row 5. Okay, so your sample should be looking like this. Isn't that pretty cool? See the funky stitch? Okay, so this is row 5. And like always, we want to slip the first stitch, knit 2, 1, 2, and once again, we do our funky stitch. Grab our loop, bring it to the front. This is the one that slides. We don't want this one, we want this one. So, we purl slide our stitch off, purl again, slide our stitch off. Then we pull our yarn in the back from the back. Okay, grab our loop, okay, this one slides, we don't want this one, we want this one, and then we purl another 2. Okay, slide our stitch off, purl again, slide our stitch off, and then we pull our thread from the back. Make a loop again, bring it to the front of both needles like that. Okay, this one slides, this is not the one we want. I want this one. And then we purl. Okay. We purl another one, purl 2. Okay. Okay, and then we pull our thread from the back. Okay. We knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3, yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Once again, we do our funky stitch. Purl 1, purl 2, pull from the back, grab our yarn, make a loop, bring it front. Okay, purl again, purl 1 stitch, purl 2 stitch, slip off the needle, pull from the back, knit 2, 1, 2, and the edge stitch. Okay, see, and this is what it's looking like. Turn our work over, slip the first stitch and purl all stitches. Okay, row 7, slip off the first stitch, knit 2, knit 1, 2, and here we go again with our funky stitch. Okay, purl 1, 2, pull from the back, once again, purl 1, purl 2, and pull our yarn from the back, grab our loop, okay, purl 1, purl 2, pull from the back, okay, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3. And once again, we do our little funky stitch. Make a loop, bring it forward. Okay. Let me get the camera to focus here. Remember, we don't want the one that moves. We want the one that's stable here. That can't pull. Okay. And insert our needle to the next stitch and purl. Okay. Again, let's put our needle through the next stitch and purl. And slide our stitch off. Then we pull. Okay. One more time. I think by the time you guys are all done with this, you're going to either be a real good expert on this stitch or you're going to really hate it. Okay. Again, stable one. This one's the one that moves. We don't want the one that moves. We want this one. Grab it. Put our needle through the next stitch. Purl. 1. Again. Purl. 2. And then we pull our yarn from the back. Okay. One more time. Okay. Purl and pull off the needle. Again. Purl. Okay. And pull our yarn from the back. Knit 2. Knit 1, 2. And purl our edge stitch. Doesn't matter what you do with the last stitch. It's just there. Okay. So, this is what it's looking like. Okay. Okay, so for our next round, we always slip the first stitch, and then we just purl all stitches. 2, 3. I'll see you at the next row. Okay, so we're back. This is row number 9. Once again, we just slip the first stitch. We knit 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then we do our little funky stitch. Okay. Purl 1. Purl 2. We pull our yarn from the back. One more time. Insert your needle in the next stitch and purl. Purl again. Pull from the back. Purl the next stitch. A little funky stitch there. 1, 2. Okay, pull our yarn from the back. Knit 3. Knit 1, 2, 3. Yarn over. Knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then, once again, we do our little funky stitch. I hope by this time you guys get how to do this stitch. One can only hope. I'm doing something wrong here. Oh. Okay. And purl 1. Purl 2. And pull our yarn from the back. One more time. Purl. Purl 1. Purl 2. Pull our yarn from the back. Grab our little loop. Purl 1. Purl 2. Pull our yarn from the back. Knit 2. And purl or edge stitch. And it's looking pretty awesome. Row 10. Okay. So once again, we slip our stitch, our first stitch, and we just purl all stitches. see you on row 11. Okay, so I'm here on row 11. So once again, we just slip our first stitch, we knit 2, okay, and we do our little funky stitch, purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, one more time, okay, okay, purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, okay, okay, purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once again, we do our little funky stitch. Purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, do it again, okay, purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, one more time, purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, and we knit 2, 1, 2, and we purl our last stitch. Okay. Next row, row 12. slip the first stitch, and we purl all stitches. Okay people, so we're here on row 13, and I went ahead and I slipped the first stitch, I knitted 2, and I did our funky stitches here, which I think I'm never going to live that one down. So, and then I've knitted 3. So I'm here at where we usually do the yarn over, but this time we're not going to do the yarn overs. We're going to stick our knitting needle in the hole. We're going to do each hole here. So we're going to stick our needle in this hole and pull up our thread. Now the trick is for this not to be too tight, because we need these to be loose, okay? Then we're going to slip the next stitch, go down into the next hole, pull up our thread. Once again, you got to be loose, okay? Slip our next stitch, okay? And if you have to, you can use a crochet hook to stick into the holes and bring up your yarn and put it on the needle. If you have to, if you feel like you can't be loose or you're just having a hard time with the needle. Okay, slip the next stitch. Okay, pull up your yarn, put it on the needle. Okay. Now we want these loose because if not, this part will scrunch up, and we don't want it to scrunch. We want it to be nice and pretty. Okay. Go ahead and slip the next stitch. Okay. Do the same thing. Pull up the yarn through the hole. Put it on the needle. Okay. And you're going to continue to do this until you get to the knit 3 over here. So looks like we got a couple more to do here. Okay. It's kind of hard to do it through the camera. It's very interesting to do through the camera, I should say. I'm going really slow, you guys, so you guys won't miss a step here, so have patience with me. Some people can knit very fast, like I can, but I'm doing it so that way you guys won't have issues with it. Okay, go. It just seems like it's easier for me to do it this way. Sorry. And if you have to, you can fix your yarn so that way you can, I mean, some of them might be looser, some of them might be tighter, so that you can always go back and you can fix them. Okay, slip the next stitch. Going on handy here. Got a couple more to go. Loosey-goosey here, you guys. Loosey-goosey. That's the trick. Okay. Slip the next stitch. Okay. Slip the next stitch. Okay. Okay. And slip the next stitch. The last stitch here we have to slip. Okay. So afterwards, if you want, you can go back. You see how I have some of them are loose here? Just fix them up. If you want. Okay. Go. That's what it's supposed to look like when you're done with that section. And then you knit 3. Knit 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we do our little funky stitch. By this time, you guys should already know what it is. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, well, let's purl 2. 1, 2. Pull our yarn from the back. Okay, bring it forward. Remember, we don't want the one that moves. Okay. Purl 1. Oh, something happened here with my stitch here. Let's fix it here just a minute. Go. Just a minute. I'm trying to fix this stitch through the camera. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Purl. Okay. Pull our yarn through the back. Okay. Around again. Purl. One. Purl. 2. Okay. Pull our yarn to the back. Okay. Now you gotta knit 2, and then we purl our edge stitch. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so on the purl side, it's different. So give me a minute to adjust my camera, and then I'll come back to do the purl side. Okay, so I'm here purling. This is row number 14. This is the purl side, remember? So this is going to get really interesting. I know I've said it again, but it is. So just bear with me. So we slip the first stitch like always. Okay, we're going to purl. We're going to purl until we get to our stitches that we slipped on this in the previous row. Okay. That should be them. Okay, so you see here are the ones that we've slipped and then we added those long strands to. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to pass all these stitches on to our right needle. I grab them by 2 because if I grab them by any more, I'm going to lose count here. Okay. Not almost to the other edge. One more, I think. One more pair, I should say. One more pair. Nope. Nope. Got one more pair here. Okay. All right. Did you see that? Those are our knit 3 stitches. So we got them all. Oh, sorry about that. Let me put these last 2 here. Okay. So when we get to our last 2, before this knit 3 stitches over here, we're going to purl. Okay. Slip it off the stitch. I slip it off the left needle. Okay. And then we're going to grab the next 2 that are right here next to this. See? And we're going to bring our stitch over. And we're going to continue doing this, grabbing 2 stitches, and we're going to bring them over. Okay. Bring them over. Very patiently, very patiently. Okay. Go. If you got to grab them one by one, go for it. I grab them by 2. Okay. I'm grabbing them 2 at a time, 2 at a time. Slowly and patiently, because you can, at this point, if you're not careful, you'll drop some of the stitches and then it is a pain just to pick them back up. Okay. Let me tell you, this is really interesting to do it in front of a camera. Seeing it through the lens of the camera, I should say. Okay. We should be getting to the last stitches here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to pull, I guess you can say we're going to pull so it'll get tight here. So what I usually do is I grab the stitch that we pulled through and I pull. Okay? And then I pull from over here. So it'll scrunch it up. Okay? Then I got one last stitch. You see where it's the knit 3 here? You want to do the first knit 3 on this side, right next to the stitch we just worked through. Okay, pull it all, you put it through that one. Okay, pull again on your yarn over here. Okay, then you just purl to the last stitch. Okay, turn it around so you can all see, and there you go. There it is. Okay. Okay, there you go. Then we just want to work our yarn like we were working before. So we slip the first stitch, knit 2, knit 1, knit 2. Once again, we do our little funky stitches that we've been doing. Got to do 3 of those, so 3 sets I should say. Purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn through the back, bring a little loop forward again. Okay. Purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, and by the way, you guys, this is row 14. Sorry about that. Okay. Purl 2, pull our yarn to the back. Okay, here are our knit 3 stitches that we've been doing. You knit 1, 2, 3. And because we've purled the last stitch, this is our knit 3 stitches that we're doing. So we knit 3 more. So in all total, we knit 6. 1, 5, and 6. Okay. See? Then we once again we do our funky stitches. Purl 1, purl 2, pull our yarn from the back, bring our loop forward, like we've been doing it through this whole process. Okay, 1, 2, pull our yarn from the back, do it again, okay, pull our yarn through the back, knit 2, and our edge stitch. Okay. Okay, last row. Like we've been doing all our other rows, we purl all the stitches. Well, we slip the first one. And then we purl all stitches. And there you go. You start back from row 1 and on up. There it is. So I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. Please give me your comments in the comment section. And like I said, if you guys have any suggestions as to any patterns that you would like me to figure out because they're driving you crazy and you want to know, go ahead and send me a link and I'll do my best I can, and I'll start uploading at least some videos at least once a week. Once again, my next video will be on tatting, probably in Spanish, but I will find more patterns for y'all and I will upload them for you. So keep tuning to my channel, and it was nice to be back on YouTube once again. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at my next project. Bye.